Chapter 3 Mentor and Friend. Ben couldn't sleep, and how could he? Through the blinds of his office window, morning sunlight cut sharp streaks across the room, illuminating a space that was both chaotic and perfectly organized. Books on quantum mechanics leaned precariously against ancient texts on sacred geometry. A long DNA sequencing printout was pinned to a corkboard, its elegant helix running alongside a diagram of the flower of life and glossy photos of Masaru Emoto's water crystals. A well worn copy of the Dhammapada propped up his monitor, a small altar of wisdom rising his screen to a more comfortable height. He paced the small space, a tremor of pure adrenaline running through him that no amount of caffeine could replicate. Finally, unable to contain the discovery a moment longer, he placed the video call. After a few rings, the face of Dr. Alistair Finch appeared on the screen, his expression groggy but kind. "Ben?" Alistair began, his voice raspy with sleep. "It's barely dawn. Is everything all right?" "Alistair, I found it," Ben said, his own voice breathless, electric. He gestured wildly at the screen Alistair couldn't see. "A marker, traveling through time, vibrating with the echoes of the past. It's real. Dr. Emoto's work proved that sound, that intention, can structure water crystals. Our bodies are 70% water, Alistair. Can you imagine what a structured, billion base pair data packet could do to a genome over 50,000 years? This isn't just biology. It's the string theory of genetics. It's information. It's vibration. It's everything." Alistair was silent for a long moment. He sighed, a deep, weary sound, and the kindness in his eyes was replaced with a profound concern. "Ben, listen to yourself," he said softly. "The law of attraction, entanglement. We've discussed these theories for years. But now you're bringing water crystals into it as proof?" He shook his head slowly. "Don't you think you've damaged your professional career enough? This is exactly why the review board flagged your grant proposal. They said it was undisciplined." He leaned closer to his camera, his voice firm but pained. "Yes, these theories may one day work hand in hand, like parts of a machine, but you can't just declare them all the same part. This synaptic pattern of yours is a ghost in the data, an anomaly. You're chasing shadows because you have a brilliant, beautiful mind that wants to believe in a grand unified theory. But son, science doesn't work that way. Please, go home. Get some sleep before you publish this and destroy what's left of your career." A prophet without honor. The video call with Alistair ended, leaving Ben standing in the heavy silence of his office. His mentor's words, a ghost in the data, chasing shadows, echoed in the space where his elation had been only moments before. The dismissal from the one man whose opinion he valued was a physical blow, knocking the air from his lungs. For a moment, doubt, cold and venomous, coiled in his gut. But then he looked back at the screen, at the impossible, elegant syntax Keats had isolated. It was not a shadow. It was not a ghost. It was real. "Alistair is just being cautious," Ben told himself, a new defiant fire hardening his resolve. "He's part of the old guard. They're afraid of anything that challenges the established dogma." Fine. If the old guard wouldn't listen, he would bypass them entirely. He would go straight to the source, to the most prestigious, peer-reviewed publication in the field, the Journal of Theoretical G- Genomics. For the next 48 hours, Ben worked in a caffeine fueled frenzy. He didn't just write a paper, he crafted a bombshell. He laid out the data with meticulous precision, detailing Keats's analytical models, the statistical improbability of the sequence, and the flawless internal logic of the code itself. He knew it was revolutionary. He knew it was undeniable. He attached the data packet, a digital message in a bottle containing the secret of human history, and hit send. He slept for 14 hours, a profound and weary slumber that enveloped him completely, filled with dreams of spiraling light. The light twisted and danced in vibrant hues, painting vivid patterns across the canvas of his mind. Each swirl and shimmer in his dreams seemed to pulse with energy and life, creating an ethereal tapestry that lulled him deeper into restful oblivion. He woke up with a feeling of victorious excitement. He had accomplished it. He had made the impact that would resonate globally. The reply came 3 days later. It was not the thoughtful, peer reviewed analysis he expected. It was a single, brutal paragraph from the journal's senior editor, Dr. Evelyn Reed. Dr. Carter, the email began, the words dripping with academic condescension. While we appreciate your enthusiasm, the editorial board must reject your submission. Your methodology is unorthodox. Your conclusions are speculative to the point of fantasy, and you seem to have mistaken a data artifact for a cosmic message. Frankly, this reads less like a scientific paper and more like the first chapter of a science fiction novel. We suggest you recalibrate your analytical models before submitting any further work for serious consideration. The final sentence was a stiletto to the heart. P.S. I've taken the liberty of forwarding this to Dean Albright at your university, as I am concerned this represents a significant deviation from your department's usual standards of empirical rigor. An hour later, the anticipated summons arrived, casting a ripple of tension through the room. Dean Albright's office was on the top floor, a space of polished wood and quiet power that always made Ben feel like a student being called to the principal's office. The dean, a man whose face seemed permanently fixed in an expression of weary disappointment, gestured to a chair without looking up from the email on his screen. Benjamin, he said, his voice dangerously soft. Dr. Reed from the Journal is an old colleague. She is also on the grant committee for the National Science Foundation, the same foundation that provides this university with $12 million in annual funding. He finally looked up, his eyes cold. For 3 years, I have defended your unorthodox research. I have vouched for you, and you repay that faith by making this department and this university a laughing stock. Dean, if you would just look at the data, Ben began, but Albright cut him off with a sharp wave of his hand. I have looked at the data. I have also looked at the quarterly budget. Effective immediately. Your lab access is suspended pending a full review of your research protocols. Your funding is frozen. You are on administrative leave, Ben. Go home. Get some rest. Think about your future. The words were a death sentence. He was locked out, cut off from Keats, cut off from his life's work. Ben walked back to his lab in a daze. A campus security guard was already there, a young man with an apologetic look on his face, holding a cardboard box. Sorry, Dr. Carter. Dean's orders. Numbly, Ben began to pack his personal effects. The worn copy of Dhammapada, the photos of water crystals, the books on quantum mechanics. He was dismantling his own life. He paused, looking at the primary monitor where the elegant, impossible double helix was still displayed. It was the most important discovery in the history of the world, and he was being punished for it. He slumped into his chair, the weight of it all finally crashing down on him. He wasn't just a prophet without honor. He was a prophet who had been silenced, discredited, and cast out. He was alone, broke, and defeated. He stared at the glowing screen, the last and only witness to his truth, and for the first time in his career, Dr. Ben Carter felt the crushing, absolute despair of a man who had lost everything. That's when the knock came at his door.